It's Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications in North Alabama, then worldwide syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You can also check out our podcast, netnewsnetwork.net, netnewsnetwork.net, and you'll find all kinds of great talk show hosts on that same podcast station as well. So again, thank you so much for watching. We had a previous show, and this is going to be part 2 of that show. What is a good monthly retirement income? Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Such a good site. And let's go to the website. That website is financer.com. That's FINANCER.com. Some great information on this website. I really do like it. So in the post, we talked about what is retirement and why is it important. Get a little bit of rest for some folks, not all of us necessarily, but what are different kinds of retirement income, and that's Social Security, pensions, annuities, 401k, and IRAs. How they calculate your monthly income, and they had 2 really good calculator formulas. And so this is the one for income, monthly retirement income formula. That's income required equals retirement expenses minus retirement income from other sources. So that's a really good calculator. And by the way, you can go to the website and there is a calculator. You just click on it. If you're on your iPad or your iPhone, just use your finger and touch it, and you'll be able to put different numbers in there to see what you think your retirement income could be. Now, this particular segment is not just for retirement folks. If you're young, you need to start thinking about that right now, about your income, okay, when you do retire. How much savings will you, let me talk about the good rule of thumb that they gave us right here. Also, a good rule of thumb is to assume that inflation will eat up about 3% of your purchasing power each year. I'd say probably a little bit more than that. But anyway, they're saying 3%. How much income will you need to retire? Again, you can use that formula, and it's retirement savings target equals your annual income required times 25%. Okay, times 25. Okay, strategies for maximizing your retirement income. We talked about that on the last show, and that was make sure you've got a diversified portfolio of investments. Start withdrawing from your retirement accounts as early as possible. And the reason I say that is, and let's dig just a little bit more into that. I think that's a good thing. Strategies for maximizing your income. Make sure that you have diversified portfolio of investments. This helps you to ensure that you have a steady stream of income throughout the retirement, and also start withdrawing from your retirement accounts as early as possible. This allows you to take advantage of the compound interest and make the most of your nest egg. Keep your expenses in check during retirement. This will help you stretch your dollars further and make the most of your limited income. And then we also talked about tips for creating a retirement budget. Determine the monthly income. Subtract your monthly expenses from your monthly income. Make sure to factor inflation. Always factor in inflation when budgeting for retirement. Don't forget about unexpected expenses. It's just going to happen. There's a person named Murphy, and that's his law. And so that's going to happen. Review your budget regularly and make adjustments as you need those. Now, what are some other ways that you can actually increase your income, your retirement income? Okay, now there are a number of other ways to increase your monthly income. One way is to work part-time during retirement. This can supplement your Social Security income and give you a little extra spending money. I know a lot of folks who do that. And there are different ways you can work. And we talked on the previous show, if you were, say, worked with your hands, you were maybe a plumber, or maybe you were, just anything to do with the trades. And you have retired, but you got to do something because your wife is just nagging at you, or your husband's nagging at you to take a trip, and you don't want to use the money in the savings to do that. Why don't you work for another company? Not work necessarily, but why don't you train employees? that is a significant amount of income you can make right there, because maybe it's a welding company and this is another thing, it's really important. You need to keep up with the trends of welding because as things are more automated and computers make things a lot easier for us. It's not like it used to be a long time ago. You need to know how to do the new ways of whatever your trade was. That could be plumbing. Maybe something else has come up, digitally that can help you. Maybe you were in the medical world and something like COVID has hit, and you can be there for some extra income or maybe to train their employees. Those things are well needed. And it's really significant amount of income. Maybe you're a farmer and you've learned a new way. Maybe you started using hydroponics. And I'll tell you, that happened to me this spring. So I started using the hydroponics gardening. I didn't think it was going to be this good. So I put a lot of seeds into this thing, into the hydroponics. The way the hydroponics works is like a series of PVC pipes. Phil put it together for me. You drill little holes in the PVC and you have it, have them kind of stacked up. You can have it any way you want to. You can just have a one system. It can look like a table, whatever. But Phil actually made 3 levels for me. And so you drill holes, and so you have the water where it circulates, and it's continuously watering the seeds and the plants you put in this hydroponics. It can be lettuce, it can be all kinds of different things. And so you've done that, and you wound up with more seeds than you thought, or plants that you thought you were going to need. Okay, sell them. Go to the marketplace. That's what I'm going to have to do. And I'll be giving away a bunch of them too. But you can go to the eBay marketplace and sell those things. And maybe you decide to go ahead and just plant them, because you think, well, probably half of them are going to come up. And you wind up getting this huge, huge amount of tomatoes. I'm going to tell you what, in this part of the world, in Sand Mountain, Alabama, especially, if you raise tomatoes, they're the best tomatoes ever. I don't know if it's something about the sandy soil, the clay soil that we've got up in Mentone, that area, the rest of Sand Mountain. But we pride ourselves on having the best tomatoes. You can take them anywhere and sell them, and people will definitely buy them. All you got to do is just now it's got to be really Sand Mountain tomatoes, okay? If you're going to sell it at Sand Mountain. And there's other parts of the world that, as they have like the best, say, strawberries or whatever. And so you can definitely sell those on Marketplace or go to a farmer's market. That's just another form of income. It's something you're doing out of your home. You're doing it in your own time. And the smart thing to do, though, don't go out into the noon sun and work on your farm. You're gonna wind up passing out. I know someone who did that, even with me telling her not to. She did it anyway, and she fell down and got hurt and bumped her head. So do it smart. And then you can also sell them any way you want to. You know what? If you live in a highly trafficked area, like I'm in the country, but a lot of cars come through here, I could put a little stand out there and sell tomatoes. So you could do the same thing. And people love to buy cucumbers. If it's made by a local farmer has farmed and had this gardening, and you've got all this stuff coming up, people would love to buy from you instead of the grocery store. I'll just put it to you that way, especially if you're an organic farmer. Think about that. That's just another way. And as a matter of fact, I know folks who had those big corporate jobs and they've retired and they love gardening now. That's just a pretty awesome thing. They didn't think they ever would. They didn't have time. They were too busy chasing that dollar. But now they're home and they got to have something to do, got a garden, and I'm making some income there. Okay, so we talked about that. There are a number of ways that you can increase your retirement income. Now, remember, we pointed out in several previous shows, what you don't spend is actually income. Think about it that way. So let's say one way is to work part-time during retirement, and that can actually supplement your Social Security income, give you a little extra spending. But another way is to downsize your home. Okay, so I had that McHouse. I had this humongous house with, say, 4 or 5 bedrooms. To keep the house, someone you trust, you can actually rent out some of those rooms. I highly suggest you let each person have their own outside entrance. That might be a little expense for you there, but that could boost it up. that can free up some extra cash you can use to supplement your income if you wanted to sell it and you wanted to downsize. Phil and I were empty nesters. We don't have kids in the house. We don't need a huge 5,000 square foot house. I didn't need that size anyway. More house to clean is the way I look at it, and I was too busy working. But if you decide to downsize, you can sell your furniture. That's another thing you can do. You can give away to Shepherd's Cove Thrift Shop. They have a truck, by the way, that'll come by and pick up, extra furniture and stuff like that if you don't need it. You can put that money that you saved. Maybe you've made $100,000 on selling your house because you're going into something so a whole lot smaller. Put that in a bank somewhere, and draw interest off of it. That's just more income coming in. Or maybe you can use it and go on trips and whatever you want to do. It's your money. Do what you want to do. I would save it, but anyway, that's just how I am. Okay, you can downsize your house and give you some extra income. Finally, you can consider relocating to a cheaper area. Oh, wow, can you? Okay, so let's say a farm here, something that would be, I'll use a great example. There was a house Phil and I looked at. It's in section before you go into Scottsboro, and it's overlooking the Brow. I'm telling you, and it was, I think the house size was about, it's like it's 1,600 square feet, something like that, but who cares? You had a breathtaking view. I'm talking beautiful. That house sold for under $300,000. Anywhere else in the United States, that house would have sold for well over $1 million just based on the view. It's overlooking the Mississippi River. I mean, it was beautiful. So you had mountains and you had the water that you could look at. I'm going to tell you that, I wish we'd took that out. It was just beautiful. It was just so breathtaking. So that's what I'm saying. Find a cheaper way to look. And let me tell you, you can use the internet to Google this, Google the information. And what I found was really interesting. If you'll Google the least expensive place to live in the United States, it'll come up with probably the top 10 or the top 20. Somewhere it's going to be in an area that you're familiar with. I know some people who are in the gardening class. Not everybody is from Alabama who's in this master gardening class. And they can't believe the amount of land that you can buy right here in Alabama. It's a fraction of what it costs anywhere else. Oh, I've got to go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. See you hanging there.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant Television, which is syndicated and found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You can also check out our podcast, netnewsnetwork.net, netnewsnetwork.net. Make sure you check it out. We're talking about how you can, ways that you can increase your retirement income, and there's several different ways you can do that. We're healthier now than we used to be. We're supposedly living longer. We're exercising more. They say, 60 is the new 50, or 50 is the new 60, and 40 is the new 50. You're hearing all this stuff all the time. And I will say this, people don't look their age anymore. They just don't. So, and that's for the folks who've taken really good care of themselves. Okay, ways to increase your retirement income. We're talking about, you can supplement, find some extra spending money, especially if you're the trades jobs. I mean, you got it going on for the rest of your life. You can teach other companies how to have good, anything to do with trades. You can talk about that. And that goes on also into healthcare, that kind of thing as well. Another thing you can do if you've been in healthcare for a number of years, people are always looking for coders. And you can do this from your home as long as you've got maybe phone service, you got a really, really good internet service. A number of things you can do out of your home. You can work customer service for the big companies. They'll take you. They're looking for people who will work out of their home. Again, got to have a good phone service. You also have to have a good internet connection. That'll be kind of a training situation thing that you'll have to go through, but as long as you have a good, clear telephone voice, they don't care if you sound country like I do. They don't care as long as you got a good, clear voice and you sound really friendly on the phone. That's good income right there. You don't have to go anywhere. You just work out of your home, and you'll have some set hours that you work as well. And again, good income. You're supplementing the income from your Social Security, because you're just not going to get a whole bunch of it, I tell you that. Okay, we consider relocating into a cheaper area. It can help you save money on housing and other living expenses, leaving you with more money to put towards retirement. And again, renting out a room. If an event is coming up into your town, like here, I know the group Alabama, they always had, they used to have this this concert they would put on every single year. And this concert, they're bringing it back. There may be some folks coming into town. You can go to Airbnb, and maybe you got a room you can rent out to folks who are coming into town. You need to make sure that some criteria is met on that. And so you can do Airbnb, just all kinds of websites that are out there, and just some income coming in. There's sometimes there. Remember when the Olympics were in Atlanta? This was a long time ago. Several years ago, and there were people, I was living in Anniston, Oxford area at that time. There were people who lived in the Anniston, Oxford area who were renting out rooms to people coming in from all over the world who wanted to come to the Olympics. So people were making all kinds of extra income that way. Look for events that are coming into the area. We're close enough in where I live, just a few minutes away from Huntsville. So anytime Huntsville is going to have an event, you may be able to hook up with one of those websites and rent out some space in your house. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, another way you can actually earn income is maybe shopping for groceries for somebody who's homebound. Could be a young person who maybe broke a hip or something, broke their back or whatever, and they need somebody to do some rounds for them for groceries or something like that. You can make some income doing that as well. Okay, let's get with a summary. Is your monthly retirement income enough? Okay, as you approach retirement, it's essential to have a clear understanding of your monthly income and expenses. That way you won't get caught off guard. This will help you determine if your monthly retirement income is sufficient to cover your costs. Maybe you need to hold off on retiring. So, different things can happen. There are several factors to consider when evaluating that monthly income and expenses, including your expected sources of income. And again, this includes Social Security, pensions, annuities, and your investment earnings. That's really, really important. Your anticipated expenses, we talked about that in part 1. This includes your housing costs, transportation, food, healthcare, insurance, and leisure activities. Everybody needs some. You can't be all work. You got to do something, okay, and have some fun. They say that you really need, if you are working and you got this career going on, you need to take about 3, especially if you own your business. I'm telling you this. And I need to do this, Phil and I do. We talk about it, but we just never do it. You need to take at least 3 little mini vacations per year. About every 90 days or so, maybe every 90, 120 days. Just take a place just to go somewhere. Don't use your cell phone. Now, you need to take it with you on the trip in case you have a problem on the road. Leave the phone somewhere hidden from yourself where you're not going to be, because every time the phone goes off, you're going to look. I mean, here, I get phone calls while we're on the air sometimes. You remember that? And I'm always going to look because I wonder, could it be my son or my daughter-in-law? Maybe something's happened. Why do mothers do that? So take some time off. Have some money put off to the side for that. Our 30th wedding anniversary is coming up in August. And so I've been to San Antonio on a business trip, and Phil lived in Houston, Texas, but never went to San Antonio, never went to the Riverwalk. So we're planning on that. So that's going to be happening in September. And let me tell you something else we're doing to save money. We actually got married on September the 4th, 1993. Okay, that was Labor Day weekend, which was fine when we got married. But when we're taking trips, it can cost almost twice that if we're going to take the trip on Labor Day weekend. And so we're not going to do that. So, I mean, we'll go out and have a nice dinner, on our anniversary day. But the trip we always take either before or after our wedding anniversary. We're saving about half off. Another cool thing you could do. Anticipated expenses, that could be your housing costs. We talked about that. Now, your desired lifetime in retirement. Do you plan to travel or to downsize? Are you expecting to maybe help support some family members? Again, I mentioned earlier about there's some grandparents who are raising their grandkids right now. That's added expense. If kids cost something, they cost something to go to school. If they play football, baseball, they're in cheerleading or whatever, that stuff costs something. Your desired lifestyle. Once you understand your income and expenses well, you can start planning on retirement. If you find that your monthly income is insufficient to cover your costs, there are a few options to consider. Let's go over that one more time. Okay, number one is increase the retirement savings. Make additional contributions to your retirement savings accounts, such as IRAs and 401ks. That's something you young folks can be doing right now. And don't be ashamed to work as a janitor or something, working with the state of Alabama or your state, wherever you're from. And if you are let's say you're a janitor, first of all, it's not that difficult. Janitors and people who work on garbage trucks have really nice retirement savings. They really do. It's not to be laughed at. So if you've worked, say, for the school system, whether that is in the lunchroom, I know this from one of my aunts who retired lunchroom, again, good income. So if you retire lunchroom or maybe a janitor or maybe school bus driver, at least 10 years, and you've been doing that job, you're going to have a nice retirement income in addition to your Social Security. So that's not to be frowned on at all. Okay, delay retirement you could possibly do. Continue working until you saved enough to cover your monthly expenses. Now, this is something that I think you can retire at 63, I think, 62, 63. And so you can go ahead and take that retirement. You will make more money if you delay that. I don't think it adds up. I just don't. I choose it early. That's just my opinion. Talk to the person who does your books, your accountant, someone who does your taxes for you every year, and see what they think you need to do. If they are a conservative, they're probably going to say, go ahead and get it now, as soon as you possibly can. Okay, now we talked about increasing the retirement savings, delay the retirement, downsize, go to a cheaper home, or you can reduce other living expenses. Who needs cable anymore when you've got Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire? What do you need it for? You can also get an antenna to go outside. That's going to cost you a one-time $30 to $50. You can go elaborate and pay $100 if you wanted to for it. That's quite a savings right there. Now, we all apparently have to have the internet, so, we got that expense. But you don't have to add another $40 for cable. So, I mean, that's up to you. Reevaluate your budget. Always, every year, reevaluate. We do about twice a year, reevaluation. Look for areas you can cut back spending and use less the extra funds for retirement savings. Ultimately, it's up to you to determine your monthly retirement income will be sufficient and see if it's going to be sufficient to meet with your needs in retirement. With proper planning and budgeting, you can ensure that you have the financial security you need during those golden years of life and be able to take those trips so you can go see your grandkids. You know what? The kids are always going to be working. They look at what your lifestyle was. If you were constantly working, they're going to be constantly working. You're probably going to have to be the one to make the trips. That's feeling me. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant Television, syndicated. You can find us on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire, and also check out the podcast. Boy, I'm having so much fun with that podcast. NetNewsNetwork.net. NetNewsNetwork.net. Again, thank you so much for watching. You know you're the apple of my eye. You most certainly are. You're the reason I get up in the morning and have this show. So again, thank you so much for watching. Take care.